because instead of making them add overtime, let me save them a few dollars. Let me buy that thing. Let me play, you know, do a night shot. All right, so today we're shooting at the Sanctuary, and thank goodness we're shooting there today. The Sanctuary, there's a lot of cool indoor spots. It doesn't really matter that it's ridiculously windy out. We're gonna be doing most of the stuff indoors. So yeah, this couple definitely lucked out because the weather and their venue lined up. We're gonna be trying out a few things today. One of them is we're gonna be using a bubble machine gun thing. They told me that they're doing a bubble grand exit, but we're gonna be leaving before that because their contract is for 6 hours, and I think their wedding goes like 8 or 9 hours. So we're gonna be doing a cool night shot with bubble so it incorporates their grand exit without them having to add overtime. So, you know, I figured it's a pretty simple thing to order on Amazon, and I'm actually very excited to use it because I was playing around with it in the backyard, and yeah, it makes a lot more bubbles than I expected. Hopefully the wind isn't the issue. So, all right, let's see what we do. And today we have Caitlin second shooting, and Julio is going to be assisting, so it should be a very smooth day because they're both very seasoned. So here we go. Okay, so today we're going to be doing the first look outside. That's what they mentioned on the timeline. So, I mean, it works. So that's why I didn't suggest anything else. If it was raining or if it was really, really crazy windy, it looks like here it's not so bad. We would do it inside, and there's plenty of options there. But here we're going to do it right in this area with the stained glass windows behind them. It looks really pretty. It works, and the lighting is always even because the sun is always on this direction. So, yeah, should be a pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and that's what we want. Keep it simple, otherwise things go sideways. So, not today. Asking about first look if we should use lighting, and I said if we can help it, we don't, because once you start using lighting, then if the flash doesn't go off, if it doesn't recycle, you're not going to get the exposure correct because you're exposing for using it with a flash. So we try to keep it simple and not use off-camera lighting, and then that way we look for something in the shade, something that's easy, and that we don't have to rely on off-camera lighting. If we did it indoors with off-camera lighting, we'd raise our ISO so that way the flash power would be very low, so we're not waiting on recycling or possibly not going off on that perfect moment. But in this situation, in the shade, it'll look nice. She likes her left side, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna place him here, and we're gonna have her go around Julio. So you're gonna walk her around this way, so she can come out this way. So then when she taps him, it'll be her preferred side on this side. Cool? She's not so dead set on it, but I try to give them their side whenever we can. Julia was just asking about, well, we were saying, or we were talking that we thought it was going to be a little bit rushed today because it's 6 hours. One thing that I always say is that if everything is in one location like it is here today, 6 hours is plenty because we don't stick around until the very end. So especially like today, like I said, I brought that bubble gum in order to do the night shot because instead of making them add overtime, let me save them a few dollars. Let me buy that thing. Let me play, do a night shot that incorporates what their grand exit is going to be like, but we don't have to stay an extra 2 hours. Because otherwise we would be getting an extra 2 hours of just pure dancing. And there's really, like how much dancing photos do we really need? half an hour?
Yeah, like half an hour bass, really.
Yep, and then more than that is just kind of, it's boring for us from a creative standpoint. And then they're spending money for no reason. So 6 hours is usually pretty good if you're doing everything in one location and you're not staying until the end. If you're staying until the end, 8 hours would probably be it. Yeah. All right, so we're about to do the night shot. We already set it up over here. So Julio set in, we tested it out without the bubbles first. So we have a CTO in the front with a grid. We have just a mag sphere on the back to spread the light a little bit more. And what this essentially is gonna do is the front is gonna be color corrected because we got the CTO and we're gonna change our white balance to a lower temperature. And then the one in the back is gonna look blue because we didn't put a CTO on it, so it's daylight white balance, so it's gonna look blue when you bring your white balance nice and low. That was a whole workaround. There's only a few people that are gonna understand that. But essentially what it's gonna do is it's gonna make the bubbles look blue behind them, and they're gonna be color corrected in the front. We're doing it indoors because if we do it outside, the light is gonna spill everywhere. And for this shot, I want it to look, even with a grid, it's still gonna spill. And with the one in the back, it's gonna hit all the stuff around it. So I wanna do it in here in order to not really get too much around them. I want it to be very dark around them, and it's just the bubbles and the light on them that's gonna be painting the photo, essentially. Everything else is gonna be just complete darkness. So that's the idea. I think it'll work, and if it doesn't, we try again a different day, I guess. But no, it'll work. We already tested it out. So we got the gun right here, and what we're gonna do, we already put a little bit in. And again, to reiterate, the reason we're doing this is because they're doing a grand exit with bubbles, but we're not gonna be here for it because we're contracted to leave a couple of hours before that. So like that, and that's what, oh, actually, it also works better in here because it's not super windy. Because outside, the wind was gonna take it. That's one thing that I was scared of. But like this is perfect. You just a little bit like that. Yeah. What I'll have you do, Julio, is you're gonna be spraying it like this up. So that way it goes up and it's gonna come down after. So up like this and go pretty quickly. And then right here. By the time you get here, I won't be getting you because I'm going pretty tight with this lens. So that should give us some bubbles coming down on them. So let's test it out with you, and then we'll get them once it's ready. The moon dance all the way back. It doesn't work. Exactly. Perfect. Let me know when you're ready, Julio. Go ahead, you guys, let me have you just continue looking at each other like that. Ready, and action. Go ahead, hold it. Glad I brought the bubbles. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, that is so neat.
Thank you.
Wow.
Took a few takes, but we got it, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah.